I don't know.
Roll with it,
Yeah.
right?
I can't get a response from the oncologist either. Is this normal? I said, are you guys really giving me anything, you know?
Where's the people sitting here already?
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
So
You're not.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, and they go, well, this new treatment is being tolerated better by the people that are receiving it.
Wow.
I go, well, that's a real genuine statement. This is like, oh, nothing. You know, I feel better than I've had in years. Well, it's doing its job.
Although you wouldn't recommend it to people.
No, I would because I honestly, God, I feel better than I have in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, I used to wake up if I slept on my left side, my ribs would hurt bad enough to wake me up. I constantly had hip pain that was bothering me, shoulder pain. Yeah,
The new miracle drug.
yeah, and
What is your ailment?
I've got lymphoma, cancer,
Okay.
head to toe, all over, class 4, or grade 4, whatever. And they started this new treatment, and it's like the lumps went away within 24 hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Don't know how.
Yeah.
We're glad.
Yeah, I am too.
You're special, John, so,
So I don't know why, but I'll take it.
yes.
I'll take it.
Right.
Sorry, I
And
didn't,
that's
my duty.
in the treatment area, there's like 15
I think I just
areas,
down on my notes
chairs.
talked about it.
For people. I really do
Nothing.
Appreciate-
Down here.
Sure.
Yeah.
how lucky I am because all around me, there's people, as soon as they start giving them the infusion,
Oh, sorry.
they're having issues. There's.
Give me just one second. I want to get my.
Blood pressure just tanked and he had heart pain and chest pain and then laid in the other side, as soon as they start dripping in, she got sickly nauseous.
Housing meeting.
It's just, another person couldn't stand up, got really busy and so all around this. Yeah.
It does make it-
I think so.
See, it does make a big difference. Okay.
Hey, well, I will call this meeting to order.
All right.
We could go around and do a roll call, please.
Sam Dobson. Becky. Jackie Noha.
John Nielsen.
Jim Peters.
Lois Carlson and Max Imholt is here representing the town. Okay, we have no public, so no public comments. And then if we want to look at the minutes,
I'll just point out that it says 5:15 a.m. on the community meeting. So
hi.
I think I changed that because I'm not, I don't think enough.
I'll make a motion that we approve the April 9th meeting minutes.
Been moved and seconded, all in approval, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So let's flip to today's agenda. And where are we on the revamped Google Docs page? Did that,
Everyone should have access to it as a folder.
and then.
And so in both work, I went through and made sure every one of those little documents was accessible. So,
Did you email it to us?
I did.
You did, okay. I'm just
You
gonna.
have the link.
Yeah.
On for
And if
it.
you don't have it, I'll just send you the link again.
And is
Meeting.
it folder shared, town of La Pointe, if we want to access the?
No, you'd have to have the link.
Okay,
So, and the link is in that email I sent. Dorjean should have a link to it for the future.
okay.
And then, if, for example, I wasn't here anymore, it would
Yep.
go to her.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah,
sure.
Yes.
And as we get more, help, remind me and I'll just keep throwing them in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, that John sent out, idea for a
Mine
community,
was really, really simple.
for a community survey, and I think that we just need to have a good discussion on, because I think we're gonna need some sort of input prior to this, the meeting going out, and we could craft a, like a notice to put in mailboxes. And if people are interested, they could respond with the survey, and then, also just for general awareness that the meeting is happening, so, we'll see what we get for attendance.
I've printed off like a 10, 15 of those simple sheets, and this week, if I run into people, I'm just gonna hand them out to people that are
Well,
seasonal workers too. I just want to get their
well,
direct
I
feedback.
thought we should probably check with Max first before we do anything, just to see what, like, if we do a survey, what should we say? I mean, I don't want to say anything that might be adverse to town plans or the town government or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I would recommend you guys draft up the survey and then we can, and give it to us and take a look at it.
Okay.
If necessary, I could have a lawyer look at it too, but yeah, just draft it up. And is it drafted?
Yeah.
John has one that.
Yeah, it's a really, really, real simple. We just need to find out where people are living now, and is it requiring them to move throughout the year because of the inability of housing? What are they paying? Is it being subsidized by their employers? These are questions we need to know. Yeah, right?
Are we,
Oh, sorry.
is this just in paper format as far as?
The way that I wrote it, yes. It's just.
Because I really think it should go on the community page. It should be available, I mean, in the Gazette where maybe we get a QR code that you can link right to it. In the employee break room
Yeah.
where any, I mean, on the ferry boat, I mean, is that too, and then everybody's.
Yeah, then I'd be afraid they'd get.
Is it too broad?
It's the questions I needed to get answers to are very specific to the people that are seasonal workers here and not visitors. Okay, so that's why I just printed out a bunch of them and I'll hand them out, so, I just.
On a poster, you could put that there's a specific group of people that we're looking to get information from, rather than it being like, everybody fill this out.
Yeah.
It just, if you live on Madeline Island. and
Yes,
These couple things pertain to you, then this is for you.
not
kind of
even
thing.
lived here. If
I-
you work.
Work, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that.
Or would like
Have-
to work and would like to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think with that said, you can put that out there, but then maybe one of the questions should say, like, do you live or, just, and then like,
Mhm.
you could, like, are you a visitor? Okay, those, no, those are, we don't care.
I think I do in my car. I think I've got the whole.
Yeah, if you.
We're not even gonna look at them.
And
Like,
maybe we could just get a couple
oh,
copies made, and then, use that as a jump up point to discuss.
Well, and I think too, he mentioned that it'll also be anonymous. Cause there's some questions that ask for income and that kind of stuff. And I just want to make sure that we were being careful with the information if there were names attached to it.
Yeah.
Because I know when we did the police survey, we really had to be careful with
Yeah.
what was coming through.
And certainly, in an introductory piece to say, any questions, to talk about privacy, but also why that information is necessary.
Would it be
to-
used
to
for?
get,
Yeah.
I
think you're right though, Jeff.
information can come in anonymously though.
Yep,
So,
yep.
but just younger people, I mean, honestly, I can't believe how many kids don't know how to address
Envelopes.
an envelope. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you?
Yes.
I had to help a kid dial the phone.
Hmm.
They picked up the receiver and they're like, well, now what? And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I'll listen.
Yeah, and you do ask those questions right away. You get right to it. The year-round owner rent. I mean, I think that right there, like, someone would see that. Because then, right, if you own,
Yeah.
you're kind of out of the rest of the questioning. And then, there you go, like, check.
Check.
So, so.
I want to rent out my
In-
house.
In regards to the confidentiality of the survey too, there has to be kind of like a proper way of handling it, I would guess. And like where that information lives
No
when,
names with it,
so you're not asking, okay, so, okay, cool.
completely.
Okay.
Just fill it out.
This is what it would look like.
Yep.
Okay,
That's it.
got it. Got it.
Pass it around.
Did you have, oh, not good.
Oh, I didn't know everyone got one. Sorry.
No, Jack, you can't have mine.
No, you can't. Don't. You can't see it.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with this as long as it gets okay through the channels and I think it hits what we need. My consensus.
It answered the questions that I had.
Yeah.
To be able to help in this meeting and in this group.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really nice, thoughtful piece that you put together.
I'm just looking for a question that answers the type of housing that they're living in currently, because there's so many different
Mm,
levels of housing here and unconventional ones that people are willing to live in.
mhm.
I think it would be valuable to capture that information because I think statistically, if we were to find out how many people are living a certain way, I think that number could be really important in
Um,
future conversations.
I'm I'm gonna try and write down a broad question and I know exactly what you're
Mhm,
looking for.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, let me formulate the words, we're basically, what is your current housing? Where do you live now?
Yeah, like what
Right?
style of housing are you living in?
Yes.
It's lack of, time thinking about it. I mean, everything from a tent
Yeah,
to an apartment.
a car.
Yeah,
Camper.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Camper van.
Yep.
Totally. I just, yeah, I would be interested.
Mhm. It's surprising.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gonna check my.
So it's the plan to get this survey done and returned by the June meeting, so we'll have some information by then.
Is that enough time?
Yes, because it's something like this, if you leave it really simple,
Yep.
it'll take them 30 seconds to fill out.
So
Our
do
checks.
we want to say that we want everything returned by the 20th of June?
It would be nice to put a deadline on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a date on it.
So-
And I left it open as far as returning it. They can give it to me back, because a lot of times I'll hand it to you. Will you fill this out, Friday fish fry or something like that?
Yeah, well, and that,
There, and they'll go, yeah, you got a pencil? And they'll fill it out. There, thanks. Okay,
Thursday,
got one Friday before to do it, on the 19th.
yeah.
You just go all the
Um,
way through.
Or they could drop it off here at the town hall if they want to just.
Are we gonna try and tabulate the results before the meeting?
yeah, I would say if we had a
We should get
return
it a week.
by Thursday, Thursday the 18th, do you think that would, because we're cutting it,
18th of May, June. Easy.
Are you comfortable, like, getting a certain amount of paperwork back to organize? Okay,
Yeah, I expect if I sent out or handed out 20, I'll bet I'd get 15 to 18 returned. And they're gonna be mostly done right away on the spot.
mm-hmm,
It'll be
okay.
spontaneous.
where else can we have?
Yeah, I can get
the-
noise. If everybody has copies and say, have you filled out one of these yet? Okay, no, I haven't. Okay, would you? if you-
Can we maybe put a bunch on the bulletin board at the post office? and people
Yes.
could
Yes.
grab it when they come in.
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
uh,
And all of us are around. This is a
Yeah.
small community. You
Yeah,
see people.
grocery store,
Right.
post office will do it.
Yes. At least
Oh, wait, are you gonna put like an envelope to collect them in then or something? Just
Yeah, I would
Okay.
think I could design some kind of a thing with just a poster with the information and then a folder
Yeah.
there with some kind of an envelope
They could just do a manila envelope right behind it.
Yeah,
I mean,
or they,
Stuff it. I mean,
it's a
if-
small area. They
Yeah.
drop it off here as long as we let Dorothy know.
I'm
that-
telling you, people are not gonna, I'm
They're not.
Especially the young.
not
I
gonna go from the store and drive all the way over here.
Ah, you're right.
I'm just saying,
It,
they're in a hurry to get to work.
Yes.
it wouldn't be terribly difficult to make a Google survey just so that you could attach, because I mean, the people you're getting are probably going to be of younger generation.
Yep.
So,
Everything can be done right.
yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
I don't
Make it,
either.
You know,
this wouldn't take very long. I could make a dummy one and
Okay.
just show you, and it can give you access, and then all it is you kind of going in and editing the form
okay, can you
if you're comfortable with
give
that.
somebody access to it by, if they just do a QR code? You know, they see the piece of paper, you
Yep.
hand it to them.
It's like just a link.
If you want to fill it right here, ding, done.
Yep.
Okay, fill out the questions,
Yep.
done.
Yep. And what's really cool is it tabulates everything for you.
Oh.
So you have a back end to it and you can kind of look at the data that way.
Okay. Do you want to give them the opportunity to give their name?
No,
I don't think so either,
No.
because then it's, yeah, let's just leave it just
Yep.
anonymous.
anonymous.
Yep. Because the cohort of workers changes seasonally so much, so that you might not necessarily get,
Yeah.
you know, the number might not match next year, or whatever. So
Is there still going to be a lot of the foreign workers coming in on
I
the,
believe,
what's the permit that they have?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I've read just in generally speaking that tourism is down and foreign workers are way down. So I don't really know what to expect.
Okay. Well, I hope that we can all get our businesses open.
So you're gonna revise this a little bit, work with staff?
Yeah, I want to get that date in here. And then that's really the only thing that I see as a change. And then asking that question of what style of current living?
yeah, you could give examples, just.
Yes, yeah, check a box.
Yep.
Okay. Other, if it doesn't.
Yeah,
fit.
fill it, yeah.
Right, but then say, please explain.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes, absolutely.
okay,
Great, thank you
yeah.
for taking the lead on that.
Okay, I'll send you the,
I think, yeah, I mean, if this is the one you had in the email,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
there, yeah.
yeah, I'll just plug it in.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, then the upcoming meeting. How do we want to structure the gathering, and do you want to have one specific moderator? Is there do we do this as a team, this group? How do we want to function in that way?
Did we had discussed the fellow? It could be a possible job for the emerging land fellow.
Hmm,
Did anybody connect with them?
I don't know, did they actually hire someone?
Yeah.
I read
think-
that.
I thought they had.
Did Kelly Westland? Was it Kelly Westland or was,
Yeah, she
Another
would,
person?
yeah, she'd probably know.
yeah,
I think she was involved with the whole thing in the hiring process.
Because then, I mean, you were asking for a set of questions, so, I mean, if we have a moderator, then we can follow that format of questioning and discussion. If we don't have a moderator, then it's a little more of an informational style meeting where we're kind of sitting around a table explaining to a group like, well, this is where we are, this is what we're doing. I wrote this down, so let me. Yeah, where we talk about like our task of the committee, our goal, and all of these are written in the RFP and they're on the comp plan. So, and I use this wording also in the Island Gazette.
Okay.
So it's just like kind of reiterating that message over and over again. And then talking about the scope of project where we can show the examples that have been done up to this point that are in that Google Doc.
Oh, yes. Yeah, thought starters.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and just giving people a visual of like, what could this look like?
Mhm.
Because I think that's a big question for a lot of people that maybe not necessarily are going to be living in this, but live on the island and they hear about this. They want to know, what does this look like? And then what's the other one? And then like, ending it with next steps, next meeting. And then talking about like that next meeting, the second one is a different focus.
Yeah.
Different questions. These are my thoughts. So it's just kind of like this one works, we can go this way. If this
Yep.
one, we can go that way.
It's what I had in my head.
Cool.
So
Do we think it would happen here? Because
ESB would,
quorum,
Yeah.
we have to keep that in mind. The style of meeting it would be, or not meeting, but
Do we need to try to figure out how many people do you think we would get more people than we have room for in this room?
it's hard to say. I mean, you could have a room full or you could have just a couple. It really goes either way.
Mhm.
Just where people are at.
Does this need to be then on the Zoom as well and recorded? So can we do that at the ESB or does it have to be here?
No, the ESB has better capabilities because
Okay.
the audio, everybody is on camera. Here you just see the back of people's heads. Yeah, well, I mean, the audience.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
ESB would be better.
I think it's important for all of us to be together as a committee too, if we can. Just because we all come from different times with different, like, I just feel like the questions we could get would be more complete if we just didn't pick and choose.
Should we do the ESB then? Plan to have it at ESB?
So what's the date again?
We said the
22nd?
22nd. It's a Monday.
June 22nd.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll coordinate with Sarah.
I think it was at 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
5:30.
5:30? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason.
5:15 a.m.
15,
Actually,
It's, the Gazette's gonna come out and it's whatever's the Gazette.
We'll go with the.
Yeah, it's either 5:15 or it's 5:30. Yeah, I hope the dates are right.
All right.
But you're right, we gotta figure out how it's gonna be moderated. We're gonna be able to get this person that got hired by WIDA or not. I'm guessing that at this short of a notice and what their schedule already is, that it's highly improbable that she is gonna be available.
Well,
I think we could take advantage if they were able to come and maybe not moderate, but be available to answer all of those like next level questions. Because they have so much knowledge about all the potential partnerships and like they could really explain a land trust to the community, like those kinds of things. So I think it'd still be worth it ask if they want to come and,
yeah, I definitely. think
this is what and they kind of know what we're up to. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So like they wouldn't be coming in dark.
Yeah.
There
Are there late enough boats back on a Monday? Yeah,
should be this time of year. I think they're 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't expect this to go much longer than an hour. I mean, that late at night.
no, I agree. I'm still.
Winter mode, yeah.
30.
Okay. Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay, and then we had the Northland survey that's on the Google Docs, and hopefully everybody, if you haven't had a chance to really review that, please, do so before we have this meeting, but we should find out if there's any updates that would be evident or that we can somehow find answers to without doing a full repeat of that.
What year was that survey again?
I think it was like 2021, maybe.
Okay. So to say, as long as it's after 2020, because our demographics changed so dramatically,
Yeah.
those few years.
Yeah. Okay, then. I know the other thing we wanted to have available for the meeting would be a utility cost baseline for the site development.
Mhm.
And we sort of talked last month about how, how to find access that information. And this was just what I had in my notes. It could be Sam said I was incorrect on hers. I might be incorrect on some others as well. So, but if there's a way that, we can kind of coordinate some of that information and have, I don't know, would we want to have some sort of a document available?
That was, Charlie did some research on that when he was on the committee here before, and he got like, for instance, sewer, there's at that site that is being proposed, there is sewer to the ESB, and it would take 2 manhole covers in a short amount of excavation. So he had some number, and there's a engineering firm that the town uses for infrastructure that had details of it.
Yeah, I have it. I think I have it. It was when they were doing the
Station.
RVs.
Yes. Yeah, they calculated what the elevations were
Yeah,
for that area.
so they, for that, which includes some other things that, but, and this was 2024, their intent to apply to the DNR for priority ranking in terms of getting some money, it was 675,000. But it's really weird when you see the detailed breakdown. 400,000 of that is repaving County H. Understand what that's, but also, so the sanitary district, it is not pursuing this right now. Because they've got a big project to just upgrade the existing facility, so this is not happening, but I dug up the numbers just for you guys.
Thank you.
I'll make you a copy of this thing,
Okay.
because it's pretty detailed. And it includes some clearing. And because that's a cost, and then it includes, they just a small amount of money for a well, it must have been just a normal kind of a well like the size for a house, and that was 20 grand, which this well would be a lot bigger and more money. But anyway, I'll distribute it. I'll put this on the Google Docs.
Right.
Okay. So I don't understand. That's a big number. And why we would have to repay County Road H, I don't know.
I think we could do it in concrete if we had for less money.
So Max, can you come up with a number? Approximately what it would cost to hook up sewer to these units?
It's never been bid. It's just the engineering firm has just put a wild ass idea.
Okay, so when they did the dump and they talked about doing a RV dump station there, that's all this documentation you have
Yes.
concerned with?
Yeah. And it was, that's the engineering firm, SCH,
SEH.
yeah.
So how are we gonna come up with a number of what it's gonna cost to hook up these buildings?
Well, I think what I could do is call that firm and say, hey, we're thinking about something different. That project's not going ahead, but
Okay,
we're talking about like plan unit development, little development, and without incurring any costs, can you give me a round number? Because if you ask for a detailed number, that's gonna cost a lot of money. But if they could just give us a round number, that would be a starting point. And we need to separate clearing costs and the well, we don't.
Yeah, I'd leave well and clearing costs off because we've already got bids and estimates from Moline.
What do I mean, but who had the.
Charlie got those.
Okay, how much was that?
I don't have those documents here.
I would think that those documents would be included on the Google Docs.
Okay,
you see them there?
No, they weren't. His wasn't there. His was.
So in the minutes, it says Jim will call the joint, so.
I would do it.
You volunteered last
Yeah,
month.
you volunteered. So I'm just checking in.
Contact Moline.
Yeah,
I talked to Bob and he said, I asked him about, high capacity well, and he said, between what you're gonna have to go through with the DNR and because it's near the dump, so that's an added caution with groundwater there. He said, you're probably not gonna get approved for a high capacity well there. So you'll have to put in individual wells for each duplex.
You can have.
Okay.
one well can serve two, is it, or three dwellings before it has to be high
He's-
capacity?
He says, if you're gonna build a duplex, each duplex needs its own well.
I would,
Well, we have a shared well,
yeah,
at our house up on Old Fort. And we have 3 currently and could hook up one more. Wouldn't
That's-
recommend it. But we run 3 consistent, like always.
that's what I thought. My notes from Charlie said earlier is that 4
That's
was
what we
the
were told.
limit. And then after 4 units, then it had to be a high capacity,
Yep.
quote unquote, high capacity.
But do you wanna go the limit on these units?
No, I think if you go 3, that gives you some overhead, some buffer room.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be small units. You're not talking a lot of water usage.
Yeah, because we run into issues with ours, with 3,
Mhm.
Yeah.
pretty consistently, like the same problems, always.
Everybody wants to flush at the same time.
Pressure,
What kind of-
we lost power.
We don't even know what kind of
Climate,
units.
and
built.
in
No.
the summer when everyone's running
But
water,
if
we will
it's
try
a
the,
basement or a bathroom,
and it gets to the bottom and the water is
they figure.
nasty.
Wow.
So
So in that area up there between Murph and the EMS building, he said typically wells are 125 feet there.
Yep.
And he says $100 a foot is what, after I talked to him for a while to get this information. but They don't, I don't think give to everyone, but so a 125-foot well would be $1,250. So
Hmm.
by the time we get around to doing this, it's probably gonna be 15,000 per well.
mhm.
Yep.
So I think that's a ball.
Rimini, that's cheap.
Go.
Is it?
But not-
Yeah, I just paid 22 for mine.
Did.
Yeah.
Here in the island?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
For a new well?
Yeah,
How deep?
178 maybe?
Okay, so that's 17,800. Roughly, and that's, then they add on for trenching and everything else.
Yep.
By the time you get done, it's,
but that rough number gets us at least to like an understanding.
that's what
Yeah.
we've been trying to get together is some numbers.
Yeah.
We can at least
Yeah.
get an idea what
Yeah.
this thing is gonna cost.
Norvato said there's no cost to put in, their fiber optic. They do that for no charge. I did not have a contact at Excel to ask that same question. In fact, I wrote to my only contact that I had at Excel and I didn't get a response back. So I don't know.
I thought their big cost was just the pedestal,
I think that is it.
you know,
And you can do that yourself as long as it meets their specifications.
but we.
How many feet do
Pardon?
they have to go?
That's changing. When I put my place in, they would go 700 feet. I don't think that they'll go.
No, they go 300. That's what I was asking. How many feet do we have to go? Is it more than 300? Probably.
I think,
I think the first 300 is free.
is that what it is now?
I
300?
believe so.
Okay. And we've got primary power, right? Going all the way down middle or that road,
Right.
don't we?
Yeah.
So
I
that's,
think 300 feet would get
Yeah.
you to the
But-
back part of the.
as you mentioned, though, you're gonna have to have pedestals with meter sockets
Mhm.
for each of the units.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's just basically.
More money.
And Arnie and Greg gave us rough estimates for land clearing and setting in the, the pads and, make them level and building ready and
You
those were
remember what those numbers were?
like 30 grand.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
How much?
30,000
Per,
For that lot.
put a road in.
Yeah, put a road in and
Pads.
put pads in. It's pretty level. There's not a lot to work.
but you gotta clear it too, right? Does that include clearing? I mean, it's.
I gotta look and see if that was Greg's, a separate bid from Greg.
Yeah.
I think it was, to remove some of the trees and get them out. Yeah, I didn't do anything with solar. I suspect that we'll get better opportunities for solar as time goes on.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's getting,
it changes so much and with like the federal government and tax credits and stuff like that, it really is cyclical. Like we just got solar and we did it within a timeline because of the federal tax credits and now they don't exist anymore. And so it changes the cost pretty dramatically. So.
Okay, then, so for our next meeting, should would somebody take on trying to put together a rough draft for some kind of a cost sheet?
You want to work with me on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Right, I appreciate that. And then we can discuss that at the meeting, so we have approval from all of us before we present anything.
And in those areas, we can we'll touch bases with Nelson, Construction and Greg for the tree. Just notice, when we asked you this several years ago,
Yeah.
this was a general idea. Same thing, like just sit with Malene. Do you want, is this still a reasonably accurate number to use as a guesstimate? Because that's really where we're at now.
Right,
Is
yeah.
just give us a ballpark, okay?
And Bob was actually okay with giving us a little bit of a discount because it's for affordable housing.
Good.
But he didn't mention any numbers.
Where's that?
Well, and
Well, maybe he won't raise it.
I don't know if he's getting ready to retire.
Yes, he
I mean,
is.
he's gonna sell pretty soon. That's why I was like, I gotta get my well in before
Yeah.
when it goes.
Yeah.
New owners, I feel like,
Yep.
'cause he's old school. Yeah,
He's a good guy.
yep,
Yep.
yeah, and if you can BS with him. He likes that.
Great, okay, I had updates from Penelise, but apparently she's not able to join us this evening. He must be coming back here fairly soon, I would think.
Mhm.
Maybe,
I know Tammy is working at the Island Closet.
oh, yeah,
They usually come together, so.
okay.
Okay.
I'll just send her a message after this and maybe if she can join us either via Zoom or whatever for the gathering, or at least just to see it, I think it would be good to have her
Mhm.
input on that. Okay, old business. I had intended to go to WIDA training. After I left the last meeting, I went home and tried to register and it was already sold out, even though it was 3 weeks early or something like that. I thought
Mhm.
there's still time to get in, and so I put myself on the wait list, but never heard a thing. So it'll have to be pushed off till another time. But it looked like great training. I wish I could have participated. Okay, then I have,
Well, real quick, not really old business, but something I wanted to mention is, town board, asked if committees could give presentations or updates on what they're doing. So I just want to put that on our radar as something that, could be good to do before
Yeah.
The meeting that we've been planning.
Yeah.
So
I can do that. Do I just need to contact Alex to get put on an agenda, or is it just with public comment?
you would probably want it on the agenda.
Okay,
It'd be like an update from a committee and
Yep.
they might be able to get other committees on the same, so
okay,
it's worth sharing.
great.
Do you think the town board would be better informed after we have this forum? Or would they like something sooner?
I think it could go both ways. You share it before, then everybody's aware, to come and
Forum?
participate, and then after you could give an update on how it went.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be like boom, boom, like
Oh.
there can be some space. I think they want some information.
And to comply with the open meetings laws in there, isn't that right, Max? They have to be careful. If it isn't an official town meeting, if some of the town board chair
Yeah.
people show up,
Yep.
they have to be there as the public, not as
Mhm.
Yeah,
in their official.
they're not,
capacity.
they're not gonna gather information for the board.
Okay,
Are you talking?
Yeah, at the
Yes,
Well, at the forum, we can always, when we publish that, it's gonna happen. He
Mhm.
disclaimer at the bottom, that even though a quorum may be present, no action is gonna be taken
Got
at
it.
this meeting.
okay.
Yep.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
you formulated the question perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Louis, if I could make a public comment at the end, did you get this thing that Michael Kupta sent? I know if he was here, he would want to talk about this Act 235. Did he send you that? Okay, I'm gonna put this in the Google Docs as well. And he's really hot on this. It's that it was just passed and allows towns now to create tax incremental districts. And before cities, and I think villages could do it, but towns couldn't do it. And then it gives a bunch of specs on what they would do. And what it is it's a way to finance the infrastructure, not the actual buildings, but the sewer, the water, the clearing of the land, all that can be financed through this. So I'll put this on Google Docs, but I know if Michael was here, he would talk about this. So I'm just stepping in here. It could be a way to get the project, you get the money, the way it works. So there's a baseline, whatever the land is worth, and then all the infrastructure obviously increases the property value. That incremental increase, instead of going to the school and us and other places, is used to pay back the loan. And it's a really long payback period, like 20 years. So it's a nice deal. It's a little controversial in that it does divert, property taxes that would go to all the other thing to that. But that's I can just tell you, Michael's really hot on this. So the next time he comes in, I want to be able to say I at least broached the subject.
Well, we can put it on the agenda,
Yes.
have a discussion on.
So Max, how is that? You're saying that money comes from the improvements that you do to the land. So that you take out a loan to pay for the stuff to the beginning. What organization takes out the loan?
Usually it would be the municipality would take the loan out.
Maybe the town would do it?
Yes.
Can they do that right now, the way finances are?
Well, the limit that everybody's worried about is a general obligation. And this would be a different kind of a loan, it's general, so it wouldn't go against that cap that everybody's worried about.
All right.
And I'm not saying there are people that criticize it for the reason of diverting.
Yeah.
But it is something to look at to get it started, It seems like this group is wondering, how do we get some money? At least if you could talk to a developer and say, hey, we got everything, all the infrastructure is going to be paid for. We just need you to either build or it's a modular home or something, but everything else is going to be set. You just put it in there. So
That's a huge. improvement.
yeah.
The town of Bloomer, where I grew up, and I was involved in that. We formed 2 TIFs in the business districts that we wanted to establish and support in Bloomer. And that really worked out well.
Yeah.
Worked out really, really well. We've got employers there now that with employees of over 100 each, and those, otherwise they were we bought the land for $10,000 an acre. And then put in the infrastructure, the roads and the water and the sewer and electricity, and then waited. And there's a long wait where nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then one pops in and all of a sudden 2, 3 others pop in next to him. And we had set ours up on a 20-year payback. And within 12 years, it was already done and paid off. So,
And a good thing for us the statute puts a cap, can't be more than, the value of this thing can't be more than 3% of your equalized assessed value, but we're at 365 million or something, so 3% is like 12 million, so I don't think we have a problem staying
we're
on
safe.
That's the benefit of having such high real estate values.
So do we know what that land is worth?
I look, it's really weird too. If you look back at the motion that the board approved, and that parcel ID number is it's not just the land between, everybody talks about it like it's the land between the ESB and, but it's like 40 acres. So you won't be, it goes across Big Bear Road. It's huge.
Oh,
So we would have to subdivide it. So it's all bare land, so it's not really, and because there's no property tax, it's not really assessed or anything. But you guys, if we did this, obviously we'd say, okay, we need maybe 10 acres or 5, I don't know what, 10 acres. You'd have to get that land subdivided. I don't know what it's worth. But yeah, anyway, I'll put this, there's a sort of a summary of the act, just a one-page thing, so nobody has to read the statute. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thanks. No, that's great information. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, anybody else have anything to discuss? If not, I think we should have our next meeting on the send my calendar up here. We're looking at the 11th of June, which would give us a week
Mhm,
after to prepare for the meeting.
mhm.
So we'll pretty much make that next meeting all about
the calendar up there. Yeah.
all this together.
I
Thursday.
don't know, are you gonna be able to, or last day? Probably.
Is that last day of school?
Yeah.
June 11th?
Yeah,
Seems.
yeah, we go pretty late. We get a lot of breaks though.
But if not, I'll zoom in.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Though I like having like 2 weeks at,
Yeah.
Christmas.
11th.
yeah.
In Europe, they give them a whole month.
At 5 o'clock.
June 11th at 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Great.
that'd be nice.
Okay, and if there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
All right.